Welcome back, good people, for another edition of Kingly Conversations, man. And just to get right into it, because I know a lot of times I go all over the place with these intros. My name is Alan. You can listen to us anywhere and everywhere. Go Google us. We ain't playing no games, man. We getting right into it today. Wait, who are y'all? What's y'all?
Yo, it's your boy Twine. What up? That's all I got. Come on.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Wow.
Crazy.
I've never heard that before.
Throw him off the game.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Keep him on the toes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your friend, your mentor, Calvin D. Hill.
Bah, 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 bah.
I knew he was going to do it.
Always going to be something, man. Always going to be something.
Always.
Can't be regular.
Go ahead. We have a special guest
now
today.
got a special guest today.
Yeah.
Hey, excellent show last week.
For sure.
So today, for the second time, hopefully won't be the last time, Mr. Antoine Boyd.
Thank you.
Coming to the stage.
There we go. There we go. Lots of love. So today, what we're talking about, this topic again, Mr. Boyd suggested this one. This is an excellent topic. What men can do to better themselves so that they don't have to chase women. Because a lot of men feel like, his term, simp.
Yeah.
That beta.
That beta male. That's
Yeah.
We're going to have to have a show on that.
I've never,
we gotta have a show on
until
that.
I talked to him, I've never heard that.
What, alpha?
Yeah.
Simp
No, simp.
Oh, okay.
I heard beta.
Well, it's all
But I
over
never
social
heard-
media. It's all over social media.
But the way they make it sound like this weak-minded man
Well,
chasing a woman or always
Simpleton.
short for simpleton.
But the question is, speaking of that, because the problem is if somebody the internet would say that if you are in a relationship and you are doing the things that you need to do to please your spouse or your other significant other, you a simp. And it's like
that's not the same thing.
But
Okay,
that's
what the internet
That's what the internet saying it is.
Hold on.
So I'm like, so I should just be out here being miserable. Oh,
No,
all right.
no, that's not.
That,
actually-
kids, is why you don't listen to the internet.
Yeah, it says simp is a slang insult for men who are seen as too attentive and submissive to women. That's what
To women. Nah, see, I don't care what nobody say. That's my wife. That's a reflection of me. So my thing is, I'm gonna make sure
You a
my
simp.
wife. Hey, well,
According to the interwebs, the internet said you a simp.
Look.
You ain't a
wife.
husband. You a simp.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a husband.
That's the thing.
And that's why you can't listen to the
That
kids.
definition is coming from people that date.
Well, it's
And
not
that-
just
see,
to
there you go.
another
Yeah,
woman,
thank you.
just
Thank
to
you. That's what I was
another
about to
person
say.
in general.
He said that comes from somebody that's dating because, like you said in the definition, is a man that tries to please women.
Well,
Women.
but
I'm not trying to please a bunch of women.
I'm going to open the door and say it's general on both sides.
No, player.
Women can be simps too,
because I'm trying to please,
Not according to the definition that you
I'm
just
trying
read.
to please
Okay, I have
my
another
wife.
definition. There's many definitions in here.
No,
Well, the next one with the women is called a pick me.
Oh, that's new.
The pick me.
That
That's doing all the
See,
things to please your husband.
and this is why
Yes.
this is why
Yes.
this is why if you have children, you need to be on TikTok.
Yes.
Because you
TikTok,
will learn
IG.
all this. So when they use these terms,
You
you
will know.
know what the heck they talking about.
hold on, man.
Pick me.
Time out.
That's
so,
why-
So you trying to tell me it's a negative
Yes, sir.
mark?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
For me as a husband,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
to take care of my wife.
Yes, sir.
In
fools.
in the single person community, yes,
Right.
and
Oh,
that's
oh,
why
and
they,
the single-
and that's why they single.
And that's why I don't listen to them.
Right.
Carry on. Go
you,
ahead.
you don't listen to them, but
But
they have influence
over
over the
society.
people they do. They have influence over society.
well, that's why they are single. That's why I'm
Yes, it
married.
is.
I don't play like
look,
that.
I get
I don't
that.
take advice about my. I don't take advice
I get
about
that.
my marriage from a single mind.
I get
because
that.
you think single. I'm not. No. I'm not thinking single. I'm thinking for a household. I'm thinking for my wife and my children.
Look.
Now you don't have those responsibilities, so I can't use your. No. What?
I get that. However, you have single people under your roof. that will be influenced by that.
And they gonna see a man leading his house and then have an example, and then you get to decide on how you want to do.
Can I
Go ahead?
I hear what you're saying, sir.
Man.
But you're acting like social media will not take somebody's mind and
I
distort it.
And I told my kids, my sons, you can play stupid if you want. You can play the dummy. I advise you not to. But you can go and listen to the internet, TikTok, Instagram, and everything else, and you're going to get their results too. So if you like your results, keep doing it.
I love it. You need a T-shirt.
I'm telling you, because, you let them tell you taking care of your wife is foolish. That's why you should pick your wife.
That's why they call it a pick me. Can we get the definition, sir?
I got it right here. Let me read
This is
that
crazy.
for you. Let me read it
This
for
is crazy.
you.
Hey man, listen.
Yo.
Guess what?
What?
I blame the parents.
You
Well,
might
that's
be
the parents. That's the parents.
Yeah, or parent. I blame who, or like Tony Baker says, who raised you?
Man, I've never heard this.
Who raised you? That's how I look at it. 'cause-
But again, like he said though, that's in the dating world.
Right.
That don't apply
Yes.
in a marriage.
It
I'm
doesn't.
sorry.
I get what you're saying. However, to get to a marriage, you are in the dating world first.
and that's part of my complicate. You
You
know
are
what?
in the
You know
dating
what?
world,
Let's-
and then you get married.
all right, so
As a
let's.
matter of fact, I was looking at because we do have a TikTok page, King Me Conversations on TikTok, and I was looking at some videos because I'm on TikTok anyway. And one of the ladies was talking about like she went to the singles event and it was all
you saw
women.
that
I
one.
saw that one, all women.
And did you see how
But
she
it
was
also
a
was
lovely
in.
lady?
Yeah, but what was that? Houston
She
or
looked
Atlanta?
good.
I think.
She
looked
looked good. She was a real lovely lady. And there was a lot of lovely ladies at the social. But go ahead, sir.
So, but now we don't know if there's any backstory. You know,
Right, it could've
all
been
we get is the
advertising
video.
and all that, right,
So it could have been a lot of reasons because there's a whole lot of events in Chesapeake that I found out about after they happened. It's like,
yes, me
I
too.
mean, we would have went. Like, if food free, we would have been there.
Right.
So, but I'll find out until after the fact. You got the definition?
Yeah, just real quick. A girl who goes out of their way to impress boys and make them seem like they're not like other girls. Kind of like a simp, but for girls, otherwise known as internalized misogyny.
All right, so I know we talking about.
Yeah, that's not even technically what we're talking about, but
Yeah, I know how we talking about how men can better themselves, but
No,
Let's
we're
do
not.
it.
We just talking about simps and
no, but that's
this other
but
thing.
how? Because okay, with the simp thing, you're saying it like, or the definite whatever it is, you're saying it like you are chasing women. Or you're doing whatever you need to do to please, like your boy.
Yes, man.
Trying to-
Like your boy.
Yeah, so I'm saying, okay,
Shout
how
out
can
Dave
men better themselves to where they're not chasing women? Because again, I don't understand the dating world.
Well,
I don't have that mind
think-
because this is crazy to me. These are foreign concepts.
As
I'm gonna
a
learn something new
young
today.
Man,
I
okay?
ain't young. I'm old. Go ahead.
As a young man, and as a young man perspective, when y'all was coming up in your early 20s, when you out there single and you're trying to figure out things, you tell me one thing that you telling me that the women, the girls, what they had and what you wanted was not something that you had in mind. Like you didn't pursue because I know what you got and your boy needed. So y'all won't on that level at all.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And
I apologize.
So I will say that I mean, Calvin's gonna say he can't relate because high school and all of that. Had a kid in high school and all that stuff.
I'm
So
trying
he's
to
gonna say-
tell y'all.
But so here is no. So I'm not gonna, like some people would say, I was not a savage, quote unquote. But my thing was I didn't want my emotions played with. So I didn't play with other people.
Right.
So but I would tell you what it is from the jump. I didn't manipulate my way into the situation. If this is what we're doing, hey, this is what we're doing. We going this, and then this follows, right? And that was always the not set up, but like we both of the people in the situation knew what it was, and that I've always been that way because I didn't want to be played with. So how But y'all know I'm gonna keep that same energy person.
Over the years, you were taught by men that told you exactly what you were supposed to. You won't talk by the internet.
No, I wasn't. I won't even say that I was taught by. I don't know who I was taught by because my parents split when I was 9. So I can't even say where I got it from. Other than you know what it probably is. I saw it because I've also been pretty good at that. I see what other people do, and I'm like, I don't want that.
Well, the craziest part about this is I was going to ask your age. What's your age?
41.
41. Okay, so I'm the oldest person in the room. Okay, the funny part is you still was able to come up with 2 key shows that really helped Black Americans. And all 3 of y'all guys know what they are.
Oh,
we saw 2 things.
Yeah.
We saw a healthy, happy Black family, and then we saw their kids go to college.
Cosby Show,
in
a different world.
In a different world. Even though we didn't have the dad there, we saw Heathcliff Huxtable and where he was supposed to be as an image of a dad. Then we had Family Matters and other shows that showed what dad's idea of what a Black dad was supposed to be.
Hey, shout out to UPN.
Oh yeah, I wish it was still here because we still had we were still being taught and saw the things that we saw was basically very pleasant. The funniest part is I see now that we're all internet savvy. This new show out that is, oh my God, I can't stand it. She's a comedian and she's a horrible comedian, but on her show, which is aired in prime time, she's doing all the negative stereotypes about Black people. She was a drug dealer. Now she lives in a urban society with white people and talk about how she used to sell drugs. Mm-hmm. Talk about how the people in the Black neighborhood sell themselves, how everybody used to stay drunk, just say all the negative things. But when you saw those things when we were kids, those things were not highlighted. Those things were not, we were highlighting the negative of what's going on with us. Whoa. And men have no control. So go back to what we're saying, how can we better ourselves? All right, put your head down, put your daggone heels in the ground and you work. Work. Because I done learned one thing, just like my buddy Calvin. Calvin said, I don't care what society says outside. Everybody live in my house, they live in the democracy of Calvin. That's mine. Because I break my hind parts every morning to do. And I'm going to make sure everybody's fed, everybody's clothed, and everybody's pleased up into the way they're supposed to be. I'm not going to sit here and, I'm going to jump through all these hoops to do things that society say. No. I am going to lead my flock the way I see fit. And we got to start as men doing that again. We got to basically say, hey, we got to worry about us and getting ours straightened out. Because that's how you can better yourself as a man. Stop worrying about what everybody else said. And the craziest part about it, we are so simple. We're very simple. So let's keep it simple. Stop trying to be women. And that's what they're trying to do us. The term came out years ago, metrosexual. You doing everything but calling me a man. And now we're sitting back and letting people get away with cis male. Well, when I grew up, cis means sissy. And that was for that LGBT society now. But to address heterosexual men, we're called cis males.
I never heard this stuff.
That's my first time hearing this.
I've never heard
cisgender, CIS gender.
Yeah,
look it up.
Yeah, but
it's essentially somebody who identifies as the sex that they were
biologically given. Yes, but you're calling me to me a sissy. You're nicknaming me as a sissy. I don't like that. Why can't I just be a male?
Wow. Hey, but to go back to...
But again, this is why if you have kids, you have to know what they're doing, the information that they're getting.
We don't, outside of school, they don't get to watch any and everything. They don't get the...
You regulate?
Yeah. Do I regulate?
The democracy said Calvin.
Regulator.
The problem is he think he regulate.
Yeah.
No, sir. I get a chance to watch him at rare form in the shop, and before his boys answer, they look dead in his face.
I understand.
Like, should I answer this question?
Look, I understand what you're saying.
Wait a minute.
I just know that I know that my dad tried to regulate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna give it to you like this.
And I won't say that, but you can't be there 24/7.
Right now, that's what I'm gonna say. I know how I expect my kids to behave when they're home and around me. When they go to school, I don't see that. I don't see who they pretend
so in
to
other
be
words,
at home.
Yeah,
and that's
pretend to be at home.
And this is why I always tell them the same thing. This is what I expect. This is how I would expect you to deal with as a man, and don't expect nobody else out in the world to deal with you this way. This is the standard. This is the bar. Now, you can go out there and act the fool if you want and get your head split, but there's a reason I'm telling you this stuff. Now, you get to go and make a choice. Like Caleb, you get to make a choice. Once you turn 18, you leave this auspices and this space of this house. Hey, you get to make a decision, and you have to live with it and be okay with it, because I don't have to live with your results.
So another what are we talking about that time?
Because
the people that talk differently out in the
yeah,
it's that way.
yeah.
No, I'm saying I'm sorry, I can't think of the name of the term.
Code
switching. So they be code switching when they get back to the house.
They probably do.
You can do it, but
yeah.
Being that now I understand Calvin because I grew up in this. My mom was like Calvin. That's why I can really relate to Calvin. Now my mom was like Calvin. So you're gonna switch and bait, but the crazy part about it, you ain't gonna go too far outside that realm. And one reason why, because you don't want to disappoint this person. Even though you are hard on me, the disappointment to see in your eyes that I know I taught you the right thing, man, that's a worse beating than the beating. That was worse than the beating. To know I done taught you better. And when my mama knew that if she could just break me down after talking to me, she stopped putting her hands on me. She stopped corporal punishing me. And she started understanding, okay, he got feelings. And if I can hurt his feelings on, I expected more from you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for most, at least I'll speak for myself. I didn't want to disappoint my parents either. So,
that's it.
So yeah, I mean, I would certainly, get off the straight line, but I wasn't going to go too far off the straight line.
But also, you could do the bait and switch because you had two households. His kids can't. His wife is in agreements with what he do. So the bait and switch is not going to make him far.
Yeah, as far as raising the kids, and me and Andrew on the same page, especially how I deal with them,
and in the same house.
Yeah.
So yes, my father's house was much more strict than my mother's house.
Always is.
Well, and part of that was my dad is a pastor. So and my mother. So it's kind of the reverse situation. Not except I don't know if there was any.
No. Not that your dad was just a pastor. Your dad know what's in them streets for black men.
Well, he does. And no different in your situation. He might have been dead had I not been born. So, because I remember him telling me a story. He used to wear a full beard like a lot of us are doing again nowadays. But they were living in Killeen, Texas, right outside of Fort, right outside of the base.
Outside of Fort Hood.
Fort Hood, yeah, because I was born at Womack Army Hospital, and he got stopped because he fit a description.
Yeah.
And when he was like, the dude didn't look nothing like him, but he was a black guy with a beard. So they stopped him. And he said that day he cut his beard off. Didn't wear a beard for years after that. And I'm just like, I blame your parents. No.
That's another reason why we on this topic, to bettering yourself, because the crazy part about it is if we fit some type of mold, you don't have to be that person. But if you fit that mold, you're going to be there. And I sit back and I used to sit and think as a younger guy, you know how people always say, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Please tell me where's the wrong place at the wrong time if we're in America.
I mean, the only time you can be well.
Hey, you're going to start here.
Don't get me started on sundown towns that still exist in 2022.
Oh, yeah. But no, I'm
don't be in that wrong place at the wrong time. Matter of fact, no, be in that place. Just have an AR like everybody else.
Oh, but no, they can shoot you first.
No, they ain't. Because if I know I'm in a sundown town,
I gotta go.
I'm doing a drive by from here to Brooklyn. Look, if I already know what it is, I'm gonna be I'll be at the window like Malcolm in that picture. Come on around here if you want to.
No doubt. And that's what your dad knew, and he understood. Because the funny part about it now, the things that your dad, my mom had to go through, our parents had to go through, now it has a badge, and it gets off when it actually does those things now.
It had a badge then. My grandfather, my mother was relaying a story about when she was growing up that they lived in Crestwood, and police officers they were sitting down having dinner. Police officers just walked in the house.
Walked in the house, yeah.
Now
that was known.
This is why I think. Yes, it was a thing.
Yeah, my family used to hear about Crestwood. Yes, sir.
This is what's crazy. This is why I don't understand why my grandfather was still alive at all. They said he got up from the table, didn't say a word. Got up from the table, grabbed the officer by his collar, threw him out the door,
Yes, sir.
said, "Try that again," closed the door, and sat back down at the
Because
table.
they knew that they had trespassed.
And
He
I'm-
had the right to shoot them because unless they announce themselves through law and let them know that they're coming, you have to invite them in. That's why
They're
the
like
crazy part
vampires?
about- Exactly. But the funniest part about it is the law. It works like this: if that joker can stick his foot in the door, if you open the door wide enough, you've invited him in as a law enforcement officer.
Yeah, that's why you got to talk to him through the window.
Exactly. You never open the door. You
No,
never
no.
open the door. Then the craziest part about this we don't realize too, if you put a no trespassing sign on your property, they can't come no further than where that sign stops. Unless you call them on the inside and said you need help, they can't come in your side of your yard. They're trespassing. Even if somebody called the police on me. Even if you call y'all here, you're trespassing, sir. There is nothing. You don't hear no yelling, screaming, da-da-da.
Yeah, the only probable cause or anything
Right.
like that. Yeah,
I got an uncle that stays out in the outskirts, and it was funny when we went to go see him. Same situation. He lives on a street that's basically no one's there. I mean, it's like when you take long trips,
Yeah.
and you see just a mailbox.
Yep.
He has property like that. So white people saw a lot of black people going down the street, so they called the police on him. When they came up the road, because it was like 25 acres of private land. Mm-hmm. He came straight to the door with his shotgun and pointed dead at them. They got back in the car and pulled right back off because nobody on his property had called. Nobody. You don't come on no man's property like that.
you shouldn't. We are so again.
Can we tie that?
So that you don't have
bettering
so that
yourself?
you don't have to chase anybody. Better yourself because you need knowledge.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, what does Calvin's favorite book say? My people perish for.
Lack of knowledge.
That's it.
So it's not just Calvin's favorite book. I just give him a hard time all the time. But so it's one of those things where I think in terms of having to, my thing is don't chase nobody. In terms of getting back on the topic, if you let be who you are and let your relationships naturally happen. Because I'm just not into chasing people, but I'm also an introvert, so I don't have to be into chasing people.
But now our society basically breaks down to make you want to have to be. You
Like
want to be
it,
social,
yeah.
to be liked.
Yeah,
But
think you
you're
should
not
have
like in person, just online.
Right, but I think you should always be yourself. And if, like you said, if the relationships don't happen organically, don't force it. But at the same time, you should at least present yourself friendly. And you don't have to go chasing nobody, but you should always be at least friendly towards people. That's just me, basic kindness.
When
You know
y'all
what I mean?
say be yourself, I relate that to love yourself first, man.
Exactly.
Love yourself first. Get comfortable with who you are before you go out here and some shapeshifter get a hold of you.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
But
Now you're all up in the mix.
even with that though, for me, I know I didn't really know myself until after I got home from Iraq. I didn't know who I was. Because I didn't identify my strength, my weaknesses, my likes and dislikes to the degree I did then.
You want to know something?
Yeah,
You want to know something?
go ahead.
I found out who I was. I started loving myself about 2 years ago.
And that's
Maybe.
real. No, but real. That's real talk.
In a
Yeah.
late stage in my life is when
bro, that
I
ain't late
came
You ain't-
to like be comfortable in my skin.
This is who I
You know?
am. Right.
yeah, and it makes sense anyway. I mean, because when you look at just scientific, like your brain isn't even fully developed until you're in your 20s. Like it continues developing all until you're in your 20s. So you probably aren't going, which is the reason why kids think they can get away with stuff. Like, and they seem stupid because it's like, really, like you thought
Done that.
this, like, come on now, I had that life already. I know how that works. But so it makes sense as you're now. I've been and y'all can tell me if I'm lying or not, but I've essentially been the same person at least the last 20 years.
No, you haven't.
Well, when I say the same person, like I knew what direction I wanted to go in. I knew who I was.
Yeah,
and
you knew your vision.
I
You knew
knew
your
that
goal.
nobody. I knew that I didn't need anybody to get there.
Your core values.
My core
haven't
values
changed.
haven't changed.
Right.
Now that doesn't mean that new because my thing is that if new information gets introduced, you evaluate that and decide if you want to add that or, get rid of that junk, burn it. So you get to do that. But my core values have essentially been the same. At least I feel like they have.
I got a question. We can go around the table because you said adding and throwing things away as far as new information. What are some personal development advice? Like, what would you consider personal development for these young men out here, or just men in general?
So they don't have to chase.
So they don't have to chase women. Like to help you with that.
Whatever you like, whatever you feel like, because it's right now in this day and age of the internet, it's a market for everything. So don't let nobody discourage you from doing what you like. Because sometimes, especially these guys that's in the Comic-Con, a lot of guys that's into just a lot of the technical geeks. Mm-hmm. Do you. Don't worry about them. Because when it comes all the way down, everybody wants to be taken care of. And what I mean by when you find that wife, you're going to want to take care of her. So if you're chasing that money, you chase it. And then when that one that loves everything that you do, like you said, let it happen organically. You could be sitting back doing you, and she's been peeping at you the whole time and finally found a way to get in. But just do you. Pay attention to you, because there's a lot of people looking at you when you don't realize it.
Yes,
somebody's always watching.
Always watching.
And that's what I think. I think sometimes people don't realize that is that somebody is always watching. And if you are doing you, then that is going to be for the person that is going to organically be drawn to that. That's going to be even that much more attractive, because they're who they are in spite of what society might say about them. Because that's just what, because now they got terms for it. Because when everybody was young, if you were black and you were into Star Trek or Star Wars and everything else, nobody called it a blurred. But now you're a blurred. Mm-hmm. But at the time you were just they had there was a show. What was it, like Nerds or well, anyway? But it was a movie at the time that was just like jocks against nerds type of thing. And but just be who you are. I agree with that. And you will find your people. It's the same thing we do with this podcast. Who we are, and you globally, at least in our case, we can find our people that would gravitate towards our voices.
Calvin, what would you, personal development wise, what would you suggest or advise?
I would. Okay, because I have to use this as what I often say in the religious world. Whatever you believe or whatever you like, live it, practice, preach it. Jim Rohn used those steps, and I found that to be the most effective thing for me. That I didn't have to chase other people, because this is the page that I'm on. This is what I'm doing. Whether you want to come along for the ride or you want to go, that's your business. But this is where I'm headed. So I never felt like I had to chase anyone. I didn't have to chase, especially when it came to women. And again, but that was because I saw different early, because my mom and dad was together. So my dad always told us, hey, as a man, you lead in every aspect that you can and know when to shut up and follow. If you're not the leader, shut up and follow until you get there. But you have to be the lead in everything else you do in your life, and accept nothing less. That's the way I always came up with, especially with relationships. Though, yeah, when it came to dealing with women, it was you're coming on my train. I'm not coming on yours. I understand you got that little thing.
No
and it
pun
might be
intended.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
You might have something that I want, but if you're not going with this, I don't need that. Somebody else will give it to me. That's where I'm going.
And that's the thing. You got to stay on this. Like they said, the Mason said, stay on your square.
Yeah.
And that's what I was getting to say, because in talking about personal development, is you got to stay on your square and be willing to accept whatever consequences come with that. With that square, yes, sir. Because there will be now, and we always use consequences as a negative, but consequences are just results of actions. So if it's a positive consequence, meaning that this is who you are, you're standing on this square, and good comes of it, fantastic. If society, ostracizes you, you gotta be willing to deal with that too.
You gotta be willing to deal with it.
It's the A word. It's the A word that a lot of women don't like. The A word called accountability. So once you make that decision,
God.
you be accountable for the decision.
A word he was talking.
I didn't know which one. I didn't know which one.
You got to be accountable
I
for
was
that
thinking of a bunch
decision.
of A's. Yeah, you do got to be accountable.
The
And so-
accountability is right there. So, like you said, whether it's good or bad, you stand on your square and take it to the chest.
That's what you got to do, and that's really what everybody should be doing. Now, to go along with that, because you know me, read any and every book you can get your hands on, because you don't know what you don't know, and so if you are living and governing your life only by what you know, understand that what you know is a very, very small percentage of what's really out there and what's really going on. So you need to be well educated, and I would say self-educated, because while school education is fine, it's great. You may need that depending on what your chosen path is. You may need it. Like if you're going to get, if you want to be a lawyer, you can't do that without the formal education. But you also need to be educating yourself. And I always say, read on both sides of an issue. So if you're studying something, read the people that are for it and read what the people have to say that are against it. And somewhere in the middle is the real truth.
True.
Somewhere in the middle is always, because everybody's giving you every piece of information you'll ever get based on their own biases. And so get that bias, and like one of my other mentors, Michael Klaus, said, read all the books and make up your own mind.
I like it. So I've heard.
I try to give my mentors credit, but you're only gonna get credit once. Once I give you credit the first time on the podcast, then it's mine.
So I've heard, don't chase the honey, chase the money.
That's it.
I've also heard to become a leader. You're buying a ticket for this train. I'm not buying a ticket for that train. I've also heard read. I would like to add something. I would like to add that your mental health, sir.
Absolutely.
That's big.
That we need to get that thing together. Let's be real.
Well, again, because you don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know. So a lot of men, especially in the African American community, they don't see therapy as something they need. And I would encourage anybody out there, the men, to get some therapy, man. Go take a session. You never know.
I don't disagree. I know Calvin hasn't done it yet, but I don't.
No,
I don't,
I probably won't. I'm gonna just be real with you, because this is why somebody said it's easier to teach you to deal with trouble, and it's harder to help you deal with trauma. Okay. And I think a lot of my reluctance to do that, to go to therapy, is because I've learned to deal with a lot of trouble, and I feel like a lot of the trauma that I may have had was when I was younger and in the Marine Corps. So it does affect you in different ways. But like I said, my reasoning for being reluctant.
That's fine.
If you're reluctant to therapy, I put it like this.
Yeah.
Right now, this is therapy.
And
the
that's
reason
true.
why I say that, because we got 4 minds here that think differently. And we see things differently. So you may have been going through something that I done already went through.
Yeah.
But if you don't tell me, I can't tell you how I solved it.
Yeah.
So sometimes we got to sit back, and that's being a core group, to sit back and just talk about what's going on in our lives.
You do, and you got to piggyback on it. You got to be comfortable enough with that core group and know that you're not going to face
backlash
and judgment. I mean, because even if like,
I'm judging.
I'm
just joking.
Your core group should be able to say, "Bro, that was stupid."
Yeah,
and you know, and you just take, like, I know, you know what, you're probably right. Especially if you got a core group and they all like what? Like, what was that?
My mentor, Kevin Samuels, I got to give him shout outs. The late great Kevin Samuels said off top, men have to make men accountable for the things that they do. We have to sit back and say, "Hey, dude, that was wrong," and you have to be a man enough to say, "You know what, you're right."
Yeah. Accountability,
and that's what it always goes back to, and that's I think the chief problems we have today is nobody wants to be accountable for anything.
Want to blame everybody else?
And it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter who it is or what it is. People don't want to take it in the chest, as they just don't. And I don't know. I would say, because I don't believe that human nature has changed. I just think the society we have today lets human nature be more of what it already wanted to be.
It is, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because, nothing's really, like, our situation hasn't changed. The only thing that's changed is our ability to say nope.
We all grew up in this, and to hear this, with great power comes great responsibility. Now, the people that have the power are not being responsible with it.
No responsibility.
They're not being responsible with it right now.
Oh,
So that's why we
started.
dealing with. Let's go, Hugh.
No, don't get Huey started, man. We gotta stay on. Don't get Huey going down that train.
And another thing.
Burn it down.
I'll be out. No, I'll be nice. I'll be out here. I'll be out here like Martin, And another thing, and furthermore,
I have a question.
not only that,
Who wrote this in the notes?
I did. That last one?
I need you to explain this one, sir.
why do you need?
Okay,
a woman?
why do you need a woman in your life as a man? Because nowadays in our society, women don't need men.
Repeat the question.
Why?
need women.
Yeah. Why do you, as a man, need a woman? Because again, in our society, women don't need men.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm asking men, well, why you need a woman then? Let's go.
My helpmeet.
Oh, see, now you just jumped on that biblical train. There. See,
Well,
everybody don't understand that.
Okay,
Everybody
gotcha.
don't understand that train.
Gotcha.
And that's the only thing I need you for.
Well, somebody just said a few minutes. ago. The same person said, "If you don't know, sit back and listen, and until you can get that knowledge to lead." Sometimes we need that person. It's so crazy. We got the devil and the angel. I don't think that's it. I think that's us when we have a woman and a man, and you get those 2 point of views. Because think about it, a man can have an extreme look at a situation, and a woman can have a more pleasant look at the situation, and we got to put those together. We need that. We need those. We need
a balance.
that. And not only that, I think we would all go crazy if we didn't get that release. We'd be fighting each other.
Yeah.
You got to release it.
Why?
I heard this when I was younger. This pastor essentially said it the same way that that you get both of the natures of the Creator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both natures of God. You get the strict disciplinarian, and then you get the but have mercy in that relationship. So you get the
Yin and yang.
the yin and yang. There you go. The firm hand and the soft touch at the same time. And the crazy thing is, it could be, because it is two people, it could be different about, one person could be hardcore on an issue and you're softer than they are, and one person could be hardcore on another, and you don't really, at least I found in our relationship, you don't really know which one it's going to be. Like I didn't know until I got married that as soon as, like, if somebody disrespects my wife, I'm ready to burn the whole world
Yes, sir.
down.
Yes, sir.
Nothing matters.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't even know that about myself at all.
That's yours.
Like everything.
But that's yours.
Everything got to
Going
go. Somebody do it. The whole world got to burn.
Oh my God.
Think about
Hey,
it.
man, I'm so lucky.
Burn.
Think about it. People said up top, you can do anything you want to, but don't mess with mine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But but that's also weird about discovering yourself, because I did not know that I had that core trait. But man, I don't care about nothing. Like
I have not been put in a situation. Thank you, Lord. It's probably a good thing that when somebody disrespected my wife in front, and I was around to see it. I was around to see it.
This is my problem.
Watch this.
It ain't as big of a deal as you think. For me, it's absolute ridiculousness. But I know that I have a ridiculous personality, right? Because it was something as simple as this dude. We were at Walmart, and my wife tells this story. But we were at the Walmart. Dude came out the wrong door and just cut in front of my wife. Man, I wanted to murder that dude. How dare you interrupt the path of my queen? How dare you interrupt the direction that she is traveling in? And I was like, ooh, I'm going to have to watch this.
But see, that's crazy. Women don't realize men have that feeling.
Oh, I know.
And when we sit back and realize that you're not going to bat for me like I go to bat for you, then we got a problem.
Fortunately, in my case, unfortunately,
You're married to your best friend.
yeah, that's what it is.
That's it.
Because I fear for other people.
Hey,
I fear for the day.
You gonna say like
No,
he said
no,
something to him?
bruh, it is simple. No,
I
if,
thought it
if
was
somebody's
like something
if somebody's
like he
now,
did something.
no,
Wow.
it is instantaneous.
Wow.
Burn it all down.
Why are you breathing the same air as my queen?
It is, I'm telling you.
Hey,
but I did not know. But y'all don't be there. Like and I know this about myself. I learned it early on, which is why I know I always have to constantly be mindful and check myself, because I am at my nature a hothead. But I learned it as a kid. And so my mother told me, look, you got that Williams temper. You can't be out here doing what your mind may want to do, because you're gonna be in jail.
You're gonna be in jail. You
So
definitely gonna be
I mean,
in
because
jail.
when I was a kid, it was
make it.
as a child, it didn't even matter. Inanimate objects, everything. I was just a naturally violent child. So like if I bumped into a cabinet, I wanted to rip the door off the hinges. How dare you bump into me? So I had to get it under. So you can see why I had to get it under control early.
Yeah.
Early.
Good job.
But that's also why, as I've said on this, people always talk about the sanctity of life, and I'm like, okay, I guess. But you talking to somebody that's willing to burn it all down for one person.
Right.
So true.
But
So-
you should feel like that for your spouse. So that's good.
Why
That's a
do
good
you
thing.
need a woman?
Yeah, but
So
why do you need a woman?
So for in my case,
Why
I don't feel like I wanted the woman that I have. I felt like that I was complete and by myself, and she was complete by herself, and then we came together. So I don't necessarily which is probably why I was never out here chasing. Like some people say that they out here chasing, because I always felt like I'm good. I'm gonna be all right. And if it was just a release, I mean, I've never done it, but I know people that have just paid for it. And you can certainly pay for it. And these are professional release artists.
He said professional release artist. Very good.
Hey, man, put
Very
that one in the
good.
book.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
He cleaned that up.
You gotta do it.
Clean
Hey
that
man. You gotta have bars, man. I used to be a rapper one day.
One day. So Fonzo, why do you need a woman?
Well, first of all, yes, it was a tragedy. To answer your question, I was thinking the whole time. That's why I said it out loud. I repeated the question out loud, because I was trying to gather my thoughts and compose an answer. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't tell you why do you need a woman. I'll tell you what. I'll give you this. I was a broken, savage beast out here in these streets. And it took a woman with compassion, patience, love, and concern to see past all of that and to help mend some wounds that I had. So shout out to Ashley. That's why I need a woman, because if it wasn't for, well, I don't want to say woman, one man, make that singular, not plural. Because women. No, I gotta go home, baby. I gotta go home. But she definitely. It took her personality, her character, who she is as a woman, to kind of help heal me or the mend my wounds. Because without her, I think I would still be out here wounded. I wouldn't have gone to therapy. I wouldn't seek the help that I needed because of her. It made me seek to be a better person, a better man, if that makes sense. So with that, that's my answer.
Antoine,
Yes, sir.
why do you need a woman?
I feel like we need a woman because God says so. He put her here He put us here, but not to be alone. We're not meant to be by ourselves. We're not. You can put a person by themselves for a few years, and after a while, you'll see the damage that it does for solitude. That's why they say solitary confinement is basically inhumane, because we are sociable animals. We are still animals. So we need that. We need the kindness. We need that love. We need the attention. We need our ego stroke. We definitely need we need a release. And I'm not talking about a sexual, just to be able to walk home. Like I said, the same way I feel about my son seeing him, that's how a man should feel about his wife when he gets home. I am now... I can breathe because my stress of my day is over, and she's going to take care of everything to make sure I feel good to be able to fight again tomorrow. That's why we need it, because a lot of times, man, being by yourself, it's kind of hard and it's lonely. And what I mean by lonely is, who are you there to talk to? And you may have friends, but you don't get a chance to talk to them all the time. They may be busy with their significant other. So you need your own. You definitely need your own. And I say that because God gave us womb man. She's a part of us. Took a rib. We got to have it.
Oh, yeah. I'm with that one.
I bet
I'm sure you are.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, because, purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable.
Oh, wow. That was deep.
Could you say that one more time for the
Miles
boy in the back?
Miles Monroe.
Purpose is unknown.
That's the last time you get a shout out, even though
it's inevitable. Because he made a point. He said when you don't know the purpose of a thing, and he wasn't even just talking about like relationship. He said anything where you don't know how to use it or what it's for or what it was built for, you will abuse it. So if you don't know why this woman is here in your life or why you have a woman, you will abuse it. And to me, that's what our society has become. We have lost purpose of why the man is here, why the woman is here.
Our roles.
So speaking of that,
next episode, and it's yes and no, because people have lost the fact that, okay, there are a million trees out here, but every tree is different. You got an apple tree. I don't go to an apple tree looking for oranges.
So true.
that's true.
Okay. So men are the same thing. Yeah, they're all men, but they are specific. Like you said, they have a certain skill. They have something to offer everyone. If you don't know your purpose, you will be abused. If the person you're with doesn't know your purpose, they will abuse you.
And if they don't value you.
And exactly. So again, where purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable. So anyway.
So next episode, we talk about the Constitution.
There you go. So for me, I chose my wife so that I could fulfill my God-given purpose. From day one. That's the only reason I got when I told her that in 10th grade. I asked her straight up and down. I said, hey, this is where, at the end of the day, this is where we're going to be. This is what's going to happen. This is when we out of here. Are you willing to go on this journey? If not, please move on so the person I'm supposed to be with can get on board. Because I already knew. I knew at 10th grade, hey, I'm sorry, and this has happened, so I haven't changed it.
How old were you in 10th grade?
16, 17, somewhere around there.
You was 17?
But again, your parents, the way I had a mom and dad, pastors in church, and they didn't teach me this Western philosophy, white Christian Bible. I didn't get that. And I didn't get that Sunday morning church. It was all day, every day. This is a life.
You're a victim of your circumstance.
Yeah. And so I was taught with certain things and principles that were not, and that is not taught in church today. They don't teach it all the way through, and they won't. I mean, we have a lot of anyway. I ain't going
motivational speakers, man. All churches motivational speakers.
I ain't going on that train. I ain't going down that road.
Why you don't want to talk about Joel Osteen?
Hey man, anyway.
And Thurman DeLynn Jakes.
So in closing,
no, I don't know what his name is actually.
In closing thoughts,
Cue the music.
hey, men out there, hey, do your best, man. We giving a lot of good advice. We here every week. We here every week, trying to motivate, trying to lead, trying to make a difference.
Hustle and motivate.
Hey, I love y'all. I'm gonna close like that. I love y'all. Y'all got any closing comments?
All I can say is, men, stay on your square. Know your purpose in life and follow it. Because everything else you want, as long as you follow your purpose, you can get it.
Yep. Find your purpose. I love it.
At the end of the day, you ultimately won't be happy if you're not going in the direction you want to go. So walk that path. Accept whatever consequences, good and bad, that come with that path. Because otherwise, no matter what happens, you won't be happy. There are billionaires that are miserable. Millionaires that are miserable. So you chase a good life and all that can bring you.
For sure.
And then the people that are supposed to be with you will be added to that life. So just keep your eyes open. Don't run around with blinders on, because the person that is equipped to go on that ride with you might be in your peripheral vision. and you might be looking at something or someone that isn't equipped to deal with you and the direction you want to go in. Right. So keep your vision open at all times and grow.
In growth, I would say to keep an open mind. You can learn something new every day. So don't have the mentality to think that you already know it all. That's going to lead you to your downfall. Shout out to all the listeners, man. Thank y'all for listening. It's been fun. Love y'all, man. Appreciate it.
We'll see y'all next week.
Yeah.